This is Saturday in Tryon, North Carolina. Came up to check on the house and also to speak at a fish fry at a country church out in Sandy Springs. And so I'm looking forward to speaking to the men there at Sandy Springs. But it was a perfect time for me to check on the house and also to make this devotion. So you see a little different background, and there's still some snow up here on the mountain, not on the roads, but in the woods and the shaded areas, and it's quite beautiful. The book of Romans, chapter 12, an incredible chapter in the book of Romans. Of course, every chapter in Romans is incredible, but we have two relationships that are illustrated so clearly in chapter 12 of Romans. First, our vertical relationship, that is man to God. Okay, the second relationship comes out of that, which is a horizontal relationship, that is man to man. And so we see in chapters 12, verses 1 through 3, the man to God relationship, and in chapter 12, verses 4 through 21, a horizontal relationship to man. You cannot have a proper relationship horizontally if you don't have a proper relationship vertically. That should be quite apparent. But in the first three verses, it says to present our bodies, that it means all of us, present everything that we are to God as a living, holy sacrifice, which is acceptable to God, and is our spiritual service of worship. Now, let me say that again. When we present our bodies, we need to do it in the way that it's a living sacrifice, and it's a holy sacrifice, and that it's acceptable to God. We've got to get right before we get with God and get that great universal vertical relationship going. And that is our spiritual service of worship. That's how we worship Him, by having the right vertical relationship. Now, it says that we should not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind. How do we do that? When we spend time with God and God's Word, we renew our mind to spiritual things, things that really matter, things that are important. And that way we transform our minds from the way the world thinks. And it tells us in verse 3 that we need to stay humble. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about God. Now, the horizontal relationship is to have unity and diversity. Now, let me say that again. We don't have to be alike. We don't have to be like a bunch of robots or clones. We just need to have unity within our diversity, within our differences. And it says that we need to be sure that we understand that we have differing gifts. And that's what makes us have diversity, is the different kinds of gifts that we each have. But with our vertical relationship, it is demonstrated through our character, our conduct, our conviction, and our concerns. So we see very clearly then that with that vertical relationship, it will play itself out in our horizontal relationship with other men. It demonstrates itself. If we have the proper vertical relationship, it'll show up in love, hating evil. It'll show up in being devoted to each other, not in an erotic way, but devoted to each other in a brotherly love way. And we'll be serving God. It'll be apparent to others that we're serving God. We'll be looking to the fact that we'll be doing more prayer, and that'll become obvious in our life. We'll have compassion, hospitality. We'll have a humbleness, and we'll have a peace as we depend upon God and as much as is within our power. Let me say that again, because that's an important principle. We'll have a peace with all men as much as is in our power. You see, I can't make somebody like me, and I can't keep somebody of another faith, a totally different faith, from hating me because I'm a Christian. I can show them that I don't want to harm them. I can show them that I will not disrespect their religion, but I can't make them love me. And I can't have peace with them if their desire is to destroy me. So when we see the relationship of man to man and we think about family relationships, as much as is in my power, I'll be at peace with my brother and my sister. I'll be at peace with my wife and my children, as much as is in my power. But if they won't receive that, if they want to hold ill feelings against me, I can't stop that. but I can go more than my halfway and trying to have peace with all people at all times. He won't always succeed in that. You need to understand that. You need to understand that only God is holding us only accountable for that which is in our power. Well, that's a lot in chapter 12, isn't it? Why don't you take a read through chapter 12 and be sure to go to church tomorrow? That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.